Okay, I am back. I took a break to do laundry, made some coffee, changed, because I didn't realize that my top button was just struggling. So I changed into something else to be more comfortable, and responded to a couple texts, and I wrote down an idea for a new poem. It just popped into my head when I was sipping on some coffee about honeycomb. So we'll see where that's gonna go. Like the structure that holds honey in, you know what I mean? So we'll see where that goes. Just bullet it out. Okay, so next up in cooking hints, tutorial, whatnot, is the concept of high cost products. So let me get the three most expensive categories. I feel like this needs to be closer, no? How about that? Okay, so the three most expensive categories that are gonna jack your prices up are fats, dairy, and meat, okay? So let's start with how you can make it cheaper. So a lot of recipes you can just make vegetarian. So that's what I'm making on another video clip, like frozen breakfast burritos. You can make those vegetarian, so that would cut the cost down. So some things to make it cheap, just cut the meat out of some recipes. Cheese or dairy in general is gonna be one of your most expensive items. So can you eliminate it? I was gluten-free, dairy-free for almost a year, and I felt phenomenal, but anyway, not anymore, I guess. So, but dairy is gonna be a really big one. So with cheese, one way that you can make it much cheaper is to buy a block. Like I said, I'm a fan of buying a big block. This block was $8.87. It should last about 3 weeks for all my meal preps. So, you know, $3 a week or so seems more reasonable, and $3 a week is cheaper than buying the pre-shredded or the pre-sliced. So I have never bought, I haven't bought sliced or pre-sliced or pre-shredded cheese in almost, I'm not joking, 5 years. So this one was at Walmart for like almost $9. So go cheap by buying just $9, just buy this, or eliminate it from recipes here and there, or decrease the amount. Fats. Let's talk about fats. Okay, so every recipe needs a fat. To me, the choice of fat is the most important decision that you can make. I'm not joking. So the secret in cooking is really like, what is your base? And each fat has its own pros and cons. I have not used vegetable oil or canola oil in years. It's really inflammatory. Not that these aren't, but just not as much. It's these are more natural. If you want to go canola oil or vegetable oil with your cooking, that is fine. Restaurants do it, like all restaurants do it. So it's not a bad choice, but I'm like, well, if I eat out, I'm already eating out. It's not that healthy anyway, so I might as well be somewhat, I don't know. At home, I stick to olive oil, butter. What else do I have in here? I have coconut oil. That's it for now. I'm running out of supply. So let's talk about fats. Olive oil is so expensive. So in my heyday for the last 7 years where I had disposable income, I would get Grazia, and this is from like Whole Foods. Like this bottle is like $30, okay? And I would use this for sauteing and frying. So this morning when I went to Walmart, because it's empty, so I'm with you guys. Oh, I'm with you. It's gone, and I'm on a budget now. So at Walmart, this bottle was $9. So it's still pretty expensive. So if you don't want to go olive oil route, because it's expensive. You can go butter, but butter alone, this is $6, and it's not gonna last as long as this. Okay, so that's important. So for me, I always get like grass-fed butter. I'm already missing it. So once again, this is from Walmart. I never go below quality of like Land O'Lakes or Challenge, I think is the name. Like I never get like the Walmart generic or the Hy-Vee generic butter is absolutely disgusting. It's like rancid. It's been that way since I was in high school. So I always will go with this. This was about $6 and this was $8. And this oil will go a lot farther than this butter, but they both have their pros. So I will say when I cook for Nora, I always use butter. She will eat anything cooked in butter because it just tastes better. But yeah, so fats are going to be your most expensive, like that's going to jack your grocery bill up. So whenever you see anything on sale, just grab it. Who cares if you spend $10 more in 1 week? You're probably saving $5 in the long run. So when it's on sale, grab it. And if you're going to use olive oil, I would prefer to save that for when you're sauteing vegetables, or even then you can do that in butter for the food prep. You can do that. This is for my evening dinners. So I always cooked with olive oil with my evening dinners when I cook my fresh dinners. Because like I said, I food prep breakfast and lunch. My dinner's got to be fresh cooked. I'm not just living off of reheated meals. I don't care how low my budget goes. Something has to be fresh in the day for me. So, okay. So those are the 3 categories of what will jack your prices up. Another kind of hack in terms of saving money is when you go to the ground beef section. This is just ground beef, okay? And I got like the cheap 73, whatever cheap. Like I'm on a budget, right? But y'all, in the category, you're gonna see ground beef and pork blend. So it's a mixture. $2, $6. $2, $6. So if you're ever doing like a meal prep that calls for like a pound of ground beef, but you're doubling it because you're cooking for the whole week, get one of each. Like you're not going to taste the pork difference at all. Also, if you're doing any kind of meatball recipe, just get this. The recipe calls for ground beef. Ground pork makes any meatball softer. Like when I make my meatballs by hand, I only use ground pork. I don't use any beef. So a huge, like one third of the price. $2, it was like $2.21, and this was $6, like $6.11 or something like that, or $5.90, whatever. So another hack is look for a pork blend and just mix it in. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna know. And then another thing is your chicken. Okay, so obviously the higher priced slices are the chicken breast, which I have not bought chicken breast. I'm not joking, in years. I don't like cooking with chicken breast. I'll buy a whole chicken and roast it and eat that chicken breast, but I'm not gonna buy a chicken breast alone because there's not a lot of fat on it. So it dries out really fast when you cook it, and it belongs in only some recipes for me. So to go cheap on poultry, stay away from my favorite is boneless, skinless chicken thigh. That is Nora's favorite cut. She loves that. If I cook it in any format, she'll eat it. It's very soft and like buttery. But stay away from anything that's already been skinned, and stay away from anything that's boneless. So go for the cuts that are undesirable or whatever. I think they're fucking delicious. So this week I got drumsticks with skin on. So this whole thing is gonna cover 5 dinners for me, and it was $5. So I will go through how to cook these. Chicken is very particular in terms of bone in and bone out. So anything with bone in takes longer to cook. So if you are using a recipe that says it's with like boneless, skinless chicken thighs, but you're substituting this, just substitute it. Who cares? You're gonna have to up the cooking time. So if it says 30 minutes for boneless, skinless chicken thighs, it would probably be 45 minutes for anything with a bone in it. So just know you can substitute in any recipe to a cheaper cut of chicken, and obviously take the skin off, and I'll go over a hack of how to do that pretty easily, because people struggle with that, and it doesn't need to be anything making it too hard. So just take the skin off, substitute it, and then add some cooking time. Okay. So once again, these are the 3 things that are going to jack your grocery bill up. Space them out. Maybe try some recipes without the meat, or find some things to blend in that are cheaper where you won't notice, or get a cut that is undesirable or cheaper. Dairy, just buy in bulk and use sparingly. That's how you can decrease it. And then fats, you really can't get around it. You can just go with like a cheaper option. Okay. So one of my favorite gifts to give a friend is a really nice bottle of olive oil for Christmas. Like, you know, you're old. Like, you've reached the point where you're like, oh my gosh, I know that bottle of olive oil costs $35. So, anyway, so yeah, so those are the 3 things that are going to jack your prices up. Use sparingly, substitute out, hide some ingredients for cheaper ones.